Councilman Wright?
Yes, I know we get ready for the retreat, and this has been an issue that has been on my mind for a while and been battling with in terms of retreat issues and issues that go on the agenda. It is my opinion that this process is flawed because the only agenda items that I have on the retreat are items that have been on there for 6, 7 years. We go to retreat, we talk about it, and we come back, and this thing is not done out of the project and whatever. I'm going to be, when we get to the projects on our south side, we have a lot of delays, a lot of problems with it. It's either through cash or unseen delay. Either way, I feel like the process is flawed. When we talk about splash and the funding of these projects and what we're going to do in these communities, and I won't bring it up now, but I think it'll be something that's coming back to retreat help. However, we look at these projects and we see where development is going. And if you look at where the development is happening at, very little to none is happening on outside side of capital improvement projects that are funded by SPLOST. Very little to none. I'm going to say none of it, but very little to our capital projects being through this area. I have went to retreats for every year since I've been on council. And we talk about this and we go through it. And every year since I've been on council, forestry, parks, sidewalks, railroads have always been an issue. Now, some of them not like some of them, most of them are. And for me to continue this process, definition and standard for doing the same thing over and over again to get different results. For me to continue this process, I don't think it will be beneficial to me. We're going to work with it. So I'm having serious reserves about even attending a retreat because I'm going to be something good. There's a process we do over and over again. I'm talking about me. And we don't get any results. I know it works for a lot of people, but it's not working for this. And that's just where I am. I want to put that out.
Thank you, sir. Any other
Have we made any progress here?
Yes.
Have we made any? And this is what we want you to understand, that this is the south side. This is still the south side. This is where economic oppression have dug in.
Yeah. All right.
And this is what we have.
And yet they criticize us saying we don't love our children. We don't know what to do. Well, when you caught into a system like this, and I mean, I'm talking about like for decades, people still live in these houses, by the way. Mm-hmm. People still living in these houses. And it is what it is. I mean, no names have been changed to protect nobody. Just the real deal.
This is it here. And yet they gonna paint you this picture that they've been doing everything here. But nothing have changed from the time of that first clip that you saw to now. So regardless of what they show our contractors, we want to be involved economically. And we feel that this is indeed very, 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 very bad injustice done here.
It is two Valdostas, one black and one white, one rich and one extremely poor.
Yes.
I don't have any questions. It's ready to have a comment.
All right, but I tell you, at this time, then I'll entertain a motion from the council, and then we'll discuss it. Bear in mind, this is only to put a motion on the floor, and then discussion will take place.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I mean, pretty much it's been laid out that we're going to accept the analysis as presented. And while we can certainly respond to what it tells us and I think we should, along with a lot of our community partners. We cannot change what it says. But you know, I certainly think that the city, armed with this information, we need to get out and share this information with our community partners. It's actually some very fascinating statistics and gives us a lot of insight. But with that, I'd like to make a motion that we move this thing forward and approve and accept the presentation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Okay, now, discussion.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Mayor, for making copies of this available to everybody. And I won't go through everything that we discussed through tonight, but I think we all agree that there was a lot of information that needs to be covered, and we need to cover a lot of information before we could say that we approve this thing. We have a lot of people in the community now that are interested in what is in this thing. I think most of y'all can agree for over the last, pretty much since I've been on council, it's almost been like a little bit Hollywood. You know, we got the AI, everybody is participating in it. We finally have a lot of people who are interested and want to participate in this and be aware of what's in the plan and participate in it. And I would like to have people, pretty much like we have here, be a part of the committee and let's go through this and look at what we have. And let's not rush to the time we did with our LDR and pass it and then have a lot of mistakes made and we have to come back and try to correct it after the fact. So I would like to ask us to postpone actually adopting the plan for a specific period of time so that we can just review it a little bit and then come back and accept it. And all I'm asking is we're supposed to give us a little time to review it and we can come back at a later date and accept the plan. I don't know if there's any big hurry, maybe help me out in terms of what date this has to be done and we can review it, and I would love to have you work with us, and I got a lot of people, like I said, that want to participate and work with us on it, and we can work with the city and try to get the best possible plan that we can. And I think this would be one of the best ways possible to involve as many citizens we can and get the best input. I believe this could be one of the best ways possible to make our city one of the best cities in this area by following this kind of plan and actually having people who are willing and wanting to participate now. In the past, we had people who were kind of like a daisy about participating now, but we actually have people who want to participate, who want to know what's going on with this, and want to be a part of it. And I think we should allow that to happen, and that's what I'm asking council now this afternoon. Just allow us a little time to allow these citizens to be a part of it. Let's look at it because we just got it today, 100-page document. And I think it's going to be hard for us to digest this.
James, you understand there's no plan in this book. There's no plan whatsoever. It's only an analysis of what our situation is in this.
I don't think it's being unfair to ask. And I don't see the hurry. Why is it hurry to do it now when Mayor said it's not a big hurry.
Oh.
The only thing I would caution, and I'm one of the first people that would admit a shortfall, but is not, he is the one that has made sure that this analysis follows these mandatory code regulations that are in place. And so again, I don't really know how, other than the data and the analysis that's presented, how we could change that any based on the fact that he's utilized the mandatory regulations to prepare the analysis.
I'm not saying change it, but allow us a chance to look at it.
All right, we've got a motion and a second on the floor, so if you want to do that, then you need to enter a substitute motion. And
great information that we need to use to formulate things. This is nothing. This is just what will be presented to hood that came out of the analysis hood, I think. But it's certainly a lot of work that we need to do, and I don't believe that the citizen group has the expertise to come in and change the analysis. The analysis, it is what it is. I would think that we need to form a committee to us to try to work on these developments that recognize which is going to take some time. So this is all. And I mean, I can see what the citizens we need to come in and try to change this, you know, what he had presented to us. What I think we need to do is use this information to go out and educate the community, the parents, that thing that we need to do.
And once again, I try to not be difficult, but let's go back to the thinking committee. And the same matter. We're not going to change. There's a committee put together to look at it and review it. And just say, oh, this is a recommendation. We're not going to change it. It's a recommendation. It may be something that's good, it may be something that's bad, but at least allow us a chance to look at this plan. We have to have a chance to even look at it. And I'm nobody on this council that even had a chance. I may be wrong, but if I'm wrong, tell me.
I looked for mine yesterday and today.
You read this whole 100-page document.
100. It's the one that. Yeah. Now that doesn't mean that there may be some errors, but I think these are the professionals that were hired, and I think this is a great compilation of information for us to start. If by chance we were to find something along the way, to bring it back to their attention, but I doubt seriously that there will be anything. This will give us a starting point right away. Reason through that and find any impediments that we go ahead and start attacking. And that's where your committee that will be formed they're not wasting their time. They're attacking the problem right away. It's already been identified through this, and then if we find more along the way, then we'll attack those at that time.
So what I'm saying, what I'm being approved
The
Analysis.
it's not an analysis, it's an audit.
It's an analysis of impediments, and you would accept it. I think what's interesting, if I could interject, I think in many ways y'all are all really the same. You want to accomplish the same thing. It's a matter of preference, whether you want to accept this report tonight or accept it at a later date. But I think everyone is saying they agree that once the report is accepted, and I think he has made a statement, you cannot change his report. Those are his professional findings. Just like the auditors tonight. We may wish we could change something in the audit, but we cannot. We voted to accept it. We vote to accept this, and I think everybody is agreeing to appoint a committee and then begin to implement the recommendations and any additional recommendations that the members of that committee might have. I think in many ways y'all are all saying the same thing. It's a matter of whether you accept it tonight and whether you accept it at another date. But again, no one will be able to change his findings unless you find an error that he has made.
And how will we know unless we look at it? How will we know?
Well, his report would go to HUD, and they would review it and determine if it meets all the criteria. And then the recommendations in it, and that committee will develop and work to implement, will be done over 5 years, over the next 5 years. So that's what the analysis of impediment requires. So I think it's purely because we're not prepared, we don't, haven't had an opportunity opportunity to talk about that.
This gives us an outline to go by, to study the situation and to take action on it. And it could be item by item, or it could be location by location, but all this is it serves the purpose of giving us an outline which we haven't had to work with.
Mr. Mayor, since that was my motion that's sitting on the table, I do want to kind of just follow up with a lot that's been said that, and while I would, and as I put forth in the rationale of my motion, we need to carry this forward. But to try and develop it, postpone accepting the analysis to draft a plan, I did not read every single page, but I read a bunch of it. There's a lot to get your head around here. And I'm saying that in that I don't think you can come up with a plan in less than a year. It's too much. The obstacles are too big. There's a lot of work that we have to go into developing a plan to overcome some of the obstacles that are identified within this analysis. So we can't wait a year. We've got 100 months out there, and it's not going to change this. So that's why I say, Mr. Mayor, whether there is no objection, to move this thing forward, let's have a vote.
But one more point. We do annual action plans. When we go through this, we do one plan every year. Am I correct, Larry?
Yes.
Annual action plan. We look at this and then we develop annual action plan based on what we come up with. But all I'm saying is, this was introduced to us yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to go through the whole document, so that was just my point. So if we move forward with it, that was just my recommendation.
Is it true, Mr. Mayor, that unless the city council mayor accepts all of it, it can't be submitted to HUD to start the process?
Right. That's true.
And I'm not sure what, I haven't studied to see what the timetable is for submission, but, no need to waste the time.
Any further discussion?
Now I'd like to call the question.
Questions been called? All in favor of the motion? All right. All in favor of the question being called, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries. We call the question. All right. All in favor of the motion as Tim presented it to adopt this analysis of impediments, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Hanson, your report.
Mr. Mayor, just for some guidance on that, of course, now it will be signed and sent to HUD, and I'm sure that will take a period of time for them to review it and determine whether they accept it. But is it the desire of the council then for us to begin the work to bring a structure to you to appoint a committee, perhaps in 30 days, because HUD will have to review that? I just want to get that on the record, Councilman, right here. That's what you're saying, if everyone's in agreement with that, and we're going to work to bring a structure when we begin this process. Okay.
We violating these sacred laws. This is downtown Valdosta. Now this is what they cut off. They stripped the other part off. Look at the difference. This is the difference.
Look at that building there being renovated. That building there had about fallen apart, but now look at the contractors.
Right.
And wherever you go and you see the contractors, like whether it's dealing with on the highways, you will find Latinos, you will find whites. But when it comes down to black people being employed, getting some of that money to take care of their children and their family members is almost zero.
And that building there fell up underneath that program where when someone purchased that building, the state pays 60%, 70%, and we can't qualify. Chamber of Commerce is where the good old boys had all their control. Right here. All these are manipulators and players. But yet they're put on this beautiful face that everything is okay, and they working with the programs, but the programs are so scrutinized till we can't get through the barriers. They say we don't have country.
So Valdosta is an up and thriving city. A lot of people are coming here. Metro status. Those in power keep getting more power and getting more economics. Go ahead.
This restaurant you're looking at here?
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
this old historic building they both are
the
owned.
Dalton House.
Yeah, and they're owned by the same people, and they got $1 million through this program. We can't get anything. Federal money. But we are left out the loop completely. They'll put blacks in some positions in jobs, but they become puppets.
And can't speak up for the good of their people.
That's it. They become puppets.
It's like their hands are tied.
If they do anything contrary, they know they won't have a job.
And that does not only apply to blacks. I understand whites that embrace right. In many cases, they kicked out the door too.
They kicked out. Look at this lady just ahead of you in a convertible, living a lifestyle. Look at the truck right next to you. You see, these people are living here. Well, black folks are catching it, man. We catching it. See the brother that there? This is how we end up depicting it. And then we're stereotype. You see?
Yeah, we don't love our children.
We don't love our families.
We don't know how to raise our families.
Parents, people are hurting here.
Look, no sidewalks. That little tin is the only thing that's holding the driveways up to hold up vehicles. I thought, and I'm sure that was outlawed in the state of Georgia because of rust that could get into the water system. And this is the house right here. Right here is the house wherein I took it before city council, wherein this man's wife could not get into the ambulance. And so this is what we brought up to the city council. See, there's no driveway. There should be a driveway here. If people are paying taxes, there should be a driveway. And if it's raining, then this is full of water. And that's just the way it is. And look at the house across the street here.
And they say that we've been making progress. We haven't made any progress here.
Yes.
Haven't made any. And this is what we want you to understand, that this is the South Side. This is still the South Side. This is where economic oppression have dug in.
Yeah.
And it states that no person in the United States, on the basis of race, color, natural origin, sex, or religion, shall be excluded from participation in, denied the benefits thereof. You see? And we've been denied. And we're trying our best to work with them downtown. We're trying to help put something together. They're going to say that they are doing this, but they're doing this from the pressure that we've been putting on. We've been on this trail for 5 or 6 years. I have minutes that dates back to those times that we sat down with Mr. Pritchard over the county manager. And he would say that they're not going to discuss no set aside for no minority, no particular group.
Get ready for the retreat, and this has been an issue that has been on my mind for a while. And now, I think it'll be something that the retreat help. However, you look at these projects and you see where development is going. And if you look at where the development is happening at, very little to none is happening on outside side of capital improvement projects that are funded by SPLOST. Very little to none. I'm going to say none of it, but very little to our capital projects being through this area. I have went to retreats for every year since I've been on council. And we talk about this and we go through it. And every year since I've been on council, forestry, parks, sidewalks, railroads have always been an issue. Now, some of them not like some of them, most of them not. And for me to continue this process, definition and standard.
We're concerned, we had agreed to work together on some issues. Now I'm going to cut a lot of this kind of short and get very brief and direct and be specific to the point. There's a lot of mistrust here. I told you guys before that this city was run by the good old boys, and we all discussed this.
The governmental and federal substances say that they did meet whatever was required as far as them notifying people. They have never reached out to this community.
And let me add right here, Doc. Between St. Paul AME Church, all down in here was black businesses. If you wanted to come and eat lunch, dinner, there was black restaurants, businesses all down here. They were thriving businesses, and yet, as Doc Robertson just said, there was no monies allocated to relocate these people to another area of town, and therefore, this had a devastating impact on the black African American community, as well as the economics of the entire city and county. Right across on the corner there was a black historic laundromat. In other words, we could have everything that we wanted in the black community, but right here, this was the center of black progress. This was the center.
Right here. But right there where we just passed is pure property. They're gonna bring the transit down to it. They're gonna turn it around right here on 84. They ain't gonna allow it to come down to the black communities. But they got this whole place zoned and tagged as an enterprise zone, so they receiving benefits, and blacks can't even get benefits because we can't even get employed because we left out the loop.
And some blacks don't even know about it. They don't even know about the benefits of being an enterprise zone.
Where they can buy these buildings and the state pays part of it, but blacks don't never know anything. But when we do snoop around and try to find out, you know, we violating these sacred laws. This is downtown Valdosta now. This is what they cut off. They stripped the other part off. Look at the difference. This is the difference.
Look at that building there being renovated. That building there had about fallen apart, but then look at the contractors.
Right.
And wherever you go and you see the contractors, like whether it's dealing with on the highways, you will find Latinos, you will find whites, but when it comes down to black people being employed, getting some of that money to take care of their children and their family members is almost zero.